So as you can see now, that suspension is all the way up. I solved it. There's another problem with the bus as well at the moment. On the way back, it started getting really rough and bouncy on the way back, and then we hit bumps in the road. It really had a big impact. I was thinking it was shock absorbers. It's not, it's something else. And it's got airbag suspension on it. I need to look into fixing the airbag suspension because something's gone wrong with that. So the next problem I've got is that this side here is not lifting up. In fact, the other side's not either. Let's look underneath. So underneath the bus here, that's your actuator mechanism, and just there, that's a sensor which tells it where the suspension's sitting. So it's got an activation arm just there which goes up, and that's fully down. The rubber bushing is touching the chassis arm, so it's fully down. It's not got any air in that side at all, and the driver's side is basically the same. It's slightly higher but not much. And just up here, this is underneath, that's the battery box. I'm underneath the battery box here, underneath the side of the bus. We've got fuse blocks here and here, and we've also got solenoids up there, so you can't see the solenoids up here. That's a fuse block, that's another fuse block, and just up there in the centre of the screen behind everything is a solenoid which is used for the air suspension. You can actually see it better from the top. That's one that controls the air suspension, so when that is turning the suspension on and off, that was coming on and off. So if you ever need to work on the air suspension because it's not pumping up, you can look at that solenoid which is there above everything there, which is on the very far left. When you open the battery box up from the top, you can see that in there then. You can check for that working correctly, that solenoid, make sure it's actually doing its job. So how did I solve the suspension problem? I disconnected the battery, left it about 5 minutes whilst I was putting all the fuses out that were around the battery holder, and then refitted all the fuses and reconnected the battery again. And then it worked after that. It seemed to be fine. I've taken it for a drive and it's all stayed up and it's all working nicely now. It's a bit weird, but I think arcing switch contacts in the foot brake switch, which is what failed first, directly before this happened, I think that arcing may have actually messed up the computer, confused it, by putting noise onto the power lines. So I think pulling the battery and then reapplying power actually reset the computer. That's what I think anyway. So up there's all sitting right now. So as it should be. There's a gap there.